here for the next hour and share a quick little Carrabba's drop off. It was like $6.75 plus. That ended up being like $7.25. So anyway, and I am on my way, unless I get a better order, over to Outback Steakhouse right now to go pick up a $12 for 4 miles something or other from Grubhub. So that's what we have. Hi everybody, my name is Craig, and I've been doing food and gig delivery for the last 2-3 years, something like that, trying to help you master and maximize your food delivery, so that way you make as much money as possible in as short a time as possible, so that way you can push ahead to other bigger goals that you have, both financially and personally. And so we've got DoorDash, Grubhub, and Instacart all running right now as we speak, trying to take the best orders that we possibly can to fill in all of this time between now and the end of a Friday night supper. I'm hoping that supper tonight is better than what breakfast and lunch was. It was super slow today, which is kind of crazy because we've actually had a pretty good week, highlighted by just a splendid Wednesday supper, and just been really good Instacarts all week until today, and then it's just kind of been dry. So we'll see how that goes, but please make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on the journey to 2,000 subscribers. So we're going to go ahead and, unless, like I said, unless another order that's better comes in from DoorDash, we're going to go ahead and grab this Grubhub really quick. We accepted it before we dropped off that Carrabba's, so hopefully by the time we get there, everything is ready to go. I've been waiting a lot. I would say the last couple of days, it just started, like, everyone had been really good with having orders ready, but the last couple of days started waiting a lot all of a sudden. And so trying to find out restaurants that are actually on top of it, not going to hold me back by wasting my time by making me sit around until an order is ready. So we are here arriving at Outback Steakhouse. Like I said, we just dropped off our Carrabba's order, and now we're going to see if this Outback order is ready. So we're picking up, like I said, from Outback, so I'm just hoping that everything is ready to go. Kate, how's it going? Good evening to all of you. Appreciate you guys really quick. I'm going to go run in, see if our Grubhub order is ready, and then try to be back to you guys in just a minute. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe, and start putting all your side hustle questions in the chat so I can answer them for you. Order was ready. We are rocking and rolling. Appreciate you guys hanging out and your patience for that. So we're going to be out doing some side hustle here all Friday night, delivering on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Instacart. Maybe we'll try on Uber Eats later if I'm a glutton for punishment, because that app has gotten horrible recently. But we're going to just pause DoorDash here for like the next 5 minutes while we go deliver this Grubhub order. So again, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're here to answer all your side hustle questions. The goal of this channel is to move 10,000 people from stupidly broken to fully free in soul and heart, mind, strength, and wallet. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Tim, how's it going? Good evening to you. Let's figure out where I'm going. Nope, not that. Navigate. All right, so we just got to get out. So this is like a $12 for, I don't know, 4 mile, whatever. We have 3 miles to go still. So whatever it took me to get here, because I was in the middle of a Carrabba's order, but I think it's 12 for 4 is what it was offered as. So we're going to go try to get this dropped off quick and hope that we can see some really good orders. We had a great night 2 nights ago. Wednesday night was an absolutely killer night. Last night was not too shabby either. But all day today, from start to finish, I actually ended up just taking a break this afternoon from trying to do any sort of delivery, and just went and did some thrifting at Goodwill to buy stuff for the eBay store. So if you got questions about food delivery, gig delivery, eBay, Amazon, YouTube, Facebook Marketplace, any side hustle that you might be wanting to add, make sure you go ahead and add that down in the comments below. Well, that's good. I'm glad you've had a decent week overall, and I totally feel you on the vehicle issues. I definitely can hear something is off on my car. I just don't know exactly what it is. So I'm just hoping to save up enough that whenever the necessary repair comes, we'll be ready to go. We're really trying to put minimal money into this vehicle here and just get to a point where we can save up all that money that we put into repairs and get a second vehicle. So that's what we're going for. Ricardo, how's it going? I don't understand any of that. If you're gibberish, then please refrain from gibberishing too much. And if you're in a different language, please note that we are English only here. Is that Karma? Am I reading that right? Karma Bandit. Good evening to you, Karma. Hope that all is going well. So we just picked up this order from Outback. This is a Grubhub order. It's going to set us up right down time. Yeah, my check engine light is permanently on for the O2 sensor, and because some mice chewed through it like years ago. There's a guy not turning the left light with green light. I would love to know why. They're going to miss their whole life. I can't believe this guy sat at a green light for like 10 seconds and no one behind honked at him. I don't understand. I have zero. Why would you not be honking at someone if they don't move when the light turns green? I really don't understand why you do that. D-Rails, how's it going? So we're going to be live with you guys to like 7 o'clock or so. So for the next hour we'll be live. And then we're going to switch over to New York Mets baseball coverage here this evening. So let's continue to try to salvage their season before they lose it all. They are very close to dropping out of a playoff spot altogether, which would be maybe the biggest Mets collapse that I've ever witnessed. And I've witnessed a lot. But should the Mets somehow fall out of the playoffs this year, that would be an embarrassment of really epic proportions. Significantly bigger than the collapse 2-3 years ago. So with all the star and adding, basically the team is the same plus Juan Soto, and it's going to be interesting. Felix, how's it going? We got to go off here. This is Outback Steakhouse for Grubhub. Grubhub changed their notification sound, so the notification sound is new on Grubhub. So I have to make a new video because they got rid of that tin can sounding thing. It sounds more like an alarm. I didn't even realize it was Grubhub the first time I heard it. So appreciate everybody hanging out, though. Please make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe on the journey to 2,000. I'm your tour guide here, helping you through all your various side hustles and making sure you're not feeling alone. So we try to constantly figure out how to maximize our money in the ever-changing world of food and gig delivery work, as well as eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, and YouTube, among many other things. So just a little more than a mile out. This drop-off is not too far from the mall, Cheesecake Factory, Uncle Julio's. So it's a good drop-off location as well. And just fingers crossed. I got my biggest catering order the other night, 37 on DoorDash, biggest one since I've gotten back to Platinum here in the last couple weeks. So it's 37 for DoorDash. DoorDash large catering order. And basically no shortage of large catering orders since I got back on Platinum, and they've just been taken from me. I used to be a catering driver for DoorDash, but they decided, nah, you don't need to have a catering bag or good customer service to get catering orders. Just take lots of orders and we'll reward you. One of the worst decisions among many bad decisions that DoorDash has made was getting rid of the catering driver program. And it's also part of the reason why tips continue to go down beyond economic reasons. People are sick and tired of subpar service for their food delivery. Got a lady riding a bike on the wrong side of the road, looking at me, mean mugging me, because for some reason I'm supposed to drive on the other side of the road. Apparently we are overseas now. We just got to go through a couple more stop signs, a couple more roads here. We're going to drop this one off, get caught up on everything else here. So make sure you start posting your side hustle questions in the chat. Obviously I can only really focus on driving while I'm driving, but every time I stop I try to get caught up on chat, make sure I know what's going on. So if you got questions about anything, let me know. And as soon as we get this dropped off, we'll get DoorDash back on. This is going to put me at about $20 of the first hour here of food delivery for me. Trina. Alright. Here. Get this dropped off, be right back. Undying. How's it going? They want me to go shopping at Victoria's Secret for some slippers. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Sorry, DoorDash. I did not know Victoria's Secret was on DoorDash. I've never seen that. That's kind of funny. To get me to shop, so it's hard enough to convince me to go do a pickup at the mall. To get me to actually go into the mall and do shopping is going to take a whole lot more than like a $3 tip. That is for sure. Alright, so we're going to try to get back out towards Cheesecake Factory here. Get on the main strip as quick as possible. We've been noting that catering orders have been about a 3-mile radius recently for me. So if I'm within about 3 miles of the restaurant, that's at least been close enough to get the call over other drivers sitting at the restaurant. So far though, a lot of low orders on DoorDash. So I do think DoorDash is still giving the best orders to different people on different nights. I'm fairly certain of that. And so Wednesday night was my night to get good deliveries, and like almost every single order I got that night, because Wednesday is typically not a good delivery night, just for context. Wednesday is usually one of the worst delivery nights, but every single order I got that night was like $15 or more on DoorDash, and we're talking like 5 or 6 orders. So I made like $120, $130, something like that, in 4 hours. Like averages $30 an hour for 4 hours straight on a Wednesday night, which is like crazy. And then like today, not much. Tonight, not much. Yesterday night was okay, but definitely not as good as that. So it's a very interesting phenomenon, and I don't know what else would control that or whatever. What I think we're gonna do, actually, instead of going to Cheesecake Factory, I think we're gonna split the difference. We'll go down to Turco Taco, which is halfway between our downtown expensive Fifth Avenue restaurants and the mall, because I think that gives us enough bubble range to reach both areas. So this is the kind of the new updated strategy that I've been testing out that's been working pretty well, is instead of sitting at the restaurant that you like the most, it's better to sit centralized among a bunch of restaurants in the radius that you like the most. Because if I sell all out and I just sit here at Cheesecake Factory and Uncle Julio's, like, sure, that's two good options, Panera occasionally, the very rare, something. But then I don't have I'm not going to be one of the closest platinum and catering drivers to all the downtown restaurants as well. But if I go in the middle, which is Turco Taco, which in and of itself can have some decent orders, I should have reach both towards the downtown as well as kind of the central part of town stuff. So I'm going to keep testing this a little bit more until I'm seeing better results some other way. I've sat at a lot of different restaurants for long chunks of time before, and so yeah, we're gonna try this alternate theory of just kind of more of a centralized location that's within 3 miles of as many restaurants as possible. That's why one of the reasons why I like the crust pizza. It's on the very south end of the most northern part, but it keeps some of the north central restaurants in play, as well as all the northern restaurants in play as well. So part of it is just luck. I mean, I'm not going to deny that you're just trying to guess where the best orders are going to come in on any given night. However, the other part of it is you do want to at least give yourself the best chance to get lucky as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go park at Turco Taco. I'll get caught up on here in just a moment. And we'll see if we can catch a good order. And I mean, it might also be that just tonight's not our night too. If it's really true that DoorDash prioritizes different drivers on different nights, then it's certainly possible that tonight is just not our night. Tonight might be somebody else's night. Now, there's one other thing we can do to counteract it too, which is I can try. It's also possible orders are just slow because they've been slow all day today, not just on DoorDash, on Instacart as well. But we can also try ending our dash and then restarting it for a shorter period of time too. Too Evil, how's it going? Long time no talk. Yes, I am. I hope you are doing well as well. So, no, and I think that's it. I think the whole idea is, because I've seen it multiple times where I'm sitting at a restaurant and somebody else, shows up. I'm like, well, I was close and I've got good metrics, so why didn't I get the order? Well, it's just the way it goes sometimes. So, yeah, we're gonna keep testing, and that's why I like this idea of trying to be a little more centralized. So I am right now, Rels, I am doing all Goodwill, Facebook Marketplace. Eventually I'd like to move to adding things like flea markets, where I think I could do that, and eventually try to source. I might even try to go all the way big to like rag shops and stuff eventually, but I need to have a much larger budget to do it. But for right now, it's all Goodwill. And I've been keeping my eye open on Facebook Marketplace, but I don't have the cash to swing big enough deals there yet. Good to note. I think I'm on like the Dash Mart wait list or something. I've never really figured out how DashMart works. Yeah, auctions would be another thing to do. I'm just on a super tight budget right now. I mean, I can spend today what I sold yesterday on eBay. Like that's basically where I am with a budget. And so it's like, okay, yesterday I did like $50 in sales. Today I can go out and spend $50. Like that's how streamlined. That's why I'm working on trying to continue to get my turnover speed faster on eBay. And I do have a couple of bigger items that hopefully will sell relatively soon. So nice work, Tim. Yeah, and I recommend for everybody, if you're just starting on eBay, start with the stuff that's around your house so you'll learn how to do it. And honestly, even before you do that, I recommend getting some feedback on eBay before you try to sell anything through buying. Do some buying first just to get yourself going with that and get some positive feedback going. Just less likely that someone's going to try to scam you if you have a little bit more feedback already. There you go. Yeah, just be careful. Be careful with the Amazon drop shipping because, but if you're, the way I view drop shipping is if you're not making any money on a platform and you try drop shipping and you fail, then you still haven't really lost anything if Amazon shuts you down or different things like that. So that's what's kind of nice about it. Now, if you're counting on your Amazon to pay your bills every single day, I would not recommend adding drop shipping to your Amazon if it's already paying all your bills through retail arbitrage or wholesale or different things like that. But if you're in the, look, I got nothing to lose, that's 100%, yeah. And it's also just about like shipping times and stuff. Like that's a big part, is like sometimes it's hard to guarantee your shipping time. So give yourself plenty of margin on shipping. Like whenever you think they're gonna ship by, do that. So yeah, exactly. So there's nothing to lose. But I would just caution, like if somebody's out there and they already have a successful wholesale or retail arbitrage business on Amazon, then I'd recommend not risking it. And same thing on eBay. If eBay's already paying your bills, I'd recommend at least starting a separate eBay account for your drop shipping, just so if something were to happen, you're good. Sounds good, Tim. I'm sure you've thought it through. It's more just a caveat for anybody who's kind of new to that process. All right, it's 6:07. We're gonna stay here 3 minutes, and then we just picked here because it's near our last drop off and near some good restaurants. But we'll head up towards the crust. We're gonna, in about 3 minutes, if we don't get any orders. But I mean, drop shipping is great if you don't have lots of spare capital to put into a business and you want to take kind of the risk of buying stuff out and you just get stuff listed and have software take care of it for you. Like, yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity for that. Oh, I guess the Dolphins play tonight too. That's all right. Mets regular season will trump Dolphins preseason, but I think Dolphins regular season will then trump Mets regular season. There won't be too many conflicts anyway. Let's see, what time do the Dolphins play? Maybe I need to do a dual stream. See y'all. Like right around the same time. Oh no, they don't play tonight. They play tomorrow. Dolphins play tomorrow at 7. What time do the Mets play tomorrow? We're gonna have to do back-to-back streams tomorrow, 4 and 7. No, it'll be a dual stream tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow night we'll have a dual Mets Braves and Jaguars Dolphins stream going on. Well, that's going to be chaos. We'll have fun. Yeah, so I'm constantly listening to stuff. This week we listened to a lot of music because I had my kids with me and I was trying to keep them. Oh my goodness, they were so toast by the end of today. They've done 5 days of delivering and another decline. But again, these orders are coming from a little bit away. I'm trying not to be too picky, but I really don't want to commit to something that's not a good order when really the peak order should be coming in for the next 2 hours. Sometimes I end up hurting myself though. That's a bad drop off. Getting better, 21 for 14 miles, but with a bad drop off, so 21 for 28 miles. But yeah, I have been listening to lots of like clothing brand videos because there's so many. There's obviously the brands everybody knows about, you know, Nike and the Reebok, Lululemon, but there's tons of other brands as well, up and coming startups, niche types of brands. So I mean there's hundreds if not thousands of brands out there. So I've been trying to listen to that. Somebody that I started following on YouTube is doing like alphabetical brands, and so all right, well, DoorDash is slamming us with junk orders right now. High dollar, high mileage. $10 plus for 10 miles or more consistently, but so that means the volume of orders is there, but we're still not getting any sort of preferential treatment on these. These are junk. And what's great about all this stuff is you just figure out what works best for you. You know, if you want to be the guy who finds the high-end sneakers that are trashed and get them all cleaned up, make them look nice and make a profit that way, that's one way of doing it. If you just want to buy the best of the best in great condition and then mark it up as your finder's fee, that works. If you want to buy in bulk and then sell in bulk, that works. There's so many great opportunities because there's just so much stuff. There's way more stuff than what we need. It's just a matter of figuring out what your role in the transfer and the breakdown of getting stuff from where it is to someone who wants it. Where is that role going to be? I have a right I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're honking at me. I have a right turn with a green arrow. You're honking at me. Oh, you people. It's wild out here. Whenever I get to the point where I don't have to do this anymore, I'm not going to miss dealing with all the traffic and the people who don't know how to drive. That's for sure. 100%. All right, we're going to head up towards pizza, the crust. See what sort of orders we can find. Of orders, but not good quality orders coming through yet, so we'll see. I don't know, it's a weird day. Everybody's back to school, everybody's out of rhythm. Who knows what's going on, but first hour we did 2 orders for about like 18 to 20 bucks, something like that. The lady who almost ran into me and honked at me while she almost ran into me is not going to be behind me. Should I go really slow when the light turns green? Sounds good, Tim. We'll get it figured out here. Gotta find the money to make the money. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna head up towards the crust pizza, see what we can find. while we're hanging out. So if you got any other side hustle questions, good conversations going on about eBay and Amazon and drop shipping and all that sort of stuff. Oh, we just got ourselves a large catering order. We got to go all the way back downtown that we just left. Wow, so $22 plus for 10 miles, but it is a good drop off. But I got to get over and turned around here. I gotta get over and turn around. This is a downtown restaurant. Super high end. Unfortunately, it's one of our slower restaurants. But it is what it is. All right, so what's my radius here? Yeah, like 2.5 miles away. So we got it from 2.5 miles away, which is going along with what Tim was saying, is that you might be better off being slightly further away from restaurants rather than sitting directly at them, because they're valuing minimizing wait time, and you don't minimize wait time if you know it's 7 minutes. You don't minimize the wait time by giving it to the person who's sitting right there always. All right, well, this will be good enough for the next hour, regardless of how long this takes. So it's $22 plus for 10 miles. I got some sushi, cheeseburger, Caesar salad, teriyaki salmon, another Wagyu cheeseburger, Parmesan truffle fries. So we know it's an order of $100 plus. We're pretty sure it's a customer tip like $20 plus. So this is a great order. This is what we are looking for, and continues to build. I'm calling it the bubble theory. It's better to be on the edge of the bubble than in the center. Well, or really, it's kind of, I don't know how you want to say it. You don't want to be sitting directly at the place you want to get the orders from quite as much. Now, at certain times, it's not going to matter too much because you're still going to be the best driver option. But we were driving away from downtown when this order came through. So anyway, $22 plus for 10 miles. Now remember, of those 10, 2.5 is going back to the restaurant. So it's like going to be 7.5 from the drop-off. And the drop-off is actually in a good drop-off location. It'll only take us a minute or two from the drop-off to get back to good orders. And we are in the heart of it. This is why I was refusing to take those like 13 for 10 and 16 for 12 mile orders, because that would have taken me out for this entire hour. I would have missed the entire hour of delivery, including this one here. So one update from the other day too, I should say. So I actually did have an order from Publix through Instacart, and it came through like right as the store was closing, so we weren't able to shop it. And I mentioned the other day, the previous times that I called, I only got $7 reimbursement, not the full base pay. Well, so I paid close attention to it, and this base pay was only like $7 and change, but I did get the full base pay reimbursement for the closed store this time. So I think it's certainly possible that I just forgot to click start shopping the other time, because one of the best things about Instacart was if you happen to get an order where the store was closed, you at least got the full base pay. And so maybe that's not quite done with yet. So we're just looking to maximize every dollar, and in the very least, you're going to get $7. I would say, well, in the very least, you will get the lesser of $7 or the base pay. I think that's still pretty well situated. So the base pay was like $4.75. You'll still get the $4.75 base pay. They won't round it up to $7. But you'll get the base pay up to $7, I think, regardless. But this was me actually getting the full base pay, and it was over $7. So for you Instacart shoppers, don't hesitate to take those store closing offers, especially if you're close and you have to put a ton of miles on, like you're, mile or two away. You still have to show there because you do have to start shopping. So is you have to get to the actual store. You got to start shopping. However, that's potentially free money that can help maximize your earnings. I also learned that the store, which is my usual store that I get kind of early close orders, they're actually going to be staying open till 10, moving forward here in a couple of weeks. So I'm actually kind of more excited about that because I think that will allow for more better orders to come through. So appreciate everybody hanging out. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on our way to downtown to pick up a $22 plus for 10-mile large catering order. We were headed to the north end of town, and DoorDash said, wait, turn around. Why don't you go pick up an order and bring it with you on the way? This particular place is very difficult to find parking. So we're going to see what can be done. I'm hoping that maybe, even though it's after 6, maybe it's early enough that there might be a decent little parking spot still available. There is also a back alley I could take to. So we can always take a loop around if we need to. We can mark arrived at the store. Our pickup is 6:28, so we still have 8 minutes to get our pickup without being late. Now, that being said, this restaurant is habitually slow, so we're going to see how this actually plays out in real time. And I get it, you guys got a walk signal, but I don't think I've ever seen people cross the street that slow. Okay, so there is a spot here that's not technically a parking spot, but I can use it as a delivery spot. I'll make an entire loop around the block if I need to. There's some parking spots across the street too. I believe there's valet in front. I'm never going to make, I think those parking spots across the street will be gone before I ever get to them. Alright, the valet is all stuffed. There is not going to be any room for me to park in the valet spot here tonight. That's not valet being mean, that's just the reality of the situation. There's no parking. So there is possibly a spot around this corner sometimes. Alright, so we're gonna just do hope that everything is ready. Queen of Hustling, it is going well. I hope you're doing well. We're gonna go grab this. Hopefully this order is ready. It's $22 for 10 mile plus. I'm semi-illegally parked, but we're gonna try to get it quick. We are back. We finally got that order. Sorry for the delay and for the temporary pause, but we're back. So if you miss me, no worries. And if you didn't miss me and you enjoyed the silence, well, that works too. So we picked everything up. A very interesting development, though. We got weight pay added. Be careful so I don't show. So I screenshotted it. I don't want to show the customer's name. But we got weight pay added for the delay, which is, I've never seen weight pay added on a DoorDash order. Now they have been, basically forgiving late deliveries when it's been the restaurant's fault, which is great. But what's better than that is actually getting paid to wait an extra $5. And so I had the option at that point to either cancel or continue. Well, I was going to continue no matter what because it's $22 plus. Now I know it's $27 plus. It's just not that big of a deal. If I'm getting compensated for my time, an extra 5 minutes, wait an extra $5 for waiting an extra 5 minutes, like that's perfectly fine. I'm good with that. And so I'm very excited. So now we know we're on a $27 plus. We're still going to get it done within the hour. Obviously, it's not going to be an amazing, maybe it will be, but this is going to be the only order in the hour because we've got 10 miles to go and everything else like that. But still, the idea of DoorDash actually adding on an extra $5 for waiting, which is what I would have done anyway, which is what good customer service would ask you to do. Now, I have no idea how often. I waited earlier tonight, didn't get weight pay added. I've never seen it before tonight. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I actually kind of like some of the decisions DoorDash has been making recently. Still disagree with a lot of what they do, but I don't want to always be negative, and like there are some legitimate changes that they've been making for the positive, and giving a driver $5 extra to wait for an order seems so much better than punishing them for waiting for orders. So kudos to DoorDash for making the good switch. So we're gonna go get this dropped off. This is probably gonna be our last drop off of the stream as well. Again, my apologies for the phone timing out. Maybe we'll try to get the phone service on this phone back up and running again so I can at the very least keep it running. I was also kind of nervous because I was semi-illegally parked. They tend to be pretty lenient on delivery drivers, but I just, you never want to get a ticket, and I try to avoid those situations as much as possible. I thought with taking almost 10 minutes to get there, I was going to have no issues, but I was incorrect. So anyway, it was $22 plus for 10 miles. Now with the extra weight pay added by DoorDash, we're going to be at $27 plus for 10 miles. And we were all the way over here in the first place when they sent us the order. So we were like 2.5 miles away. So lots of things that we're kind of learning about this, which is DoorDash is not going to just necessarily prioritize the person sitting at the restaurant. You might be better off sitting in the midst of a bunch of restaurants that you kind of like within a 2 to 3 mile radius versus sitting at one main restaurant. So I am excited for this. So Midnight, sorry I missed you when you came on. Hopefully I'll catch you again later. You had a great song. I hope you use the song again. But I'll sing it anyway, nonetheless, whether you're here or not. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. Never count your money while you're sitting at the table. Something like that. It was epic. You picked a song that I knew and I wasn't here for it. So sorry about that, Midnight. Anyway, we got about 5 miles to go, something like that. Get it dropped off. It'll be kind of the north end of town, which is fine, especially for a Friday. See if we can get another order over there. $27 plus is our current order. Even if this ends up being I'm trying to think of what it could be. Like what it would have been originally if it was like an actual tip. Maybe it's like a 42. It's like it turns into a 47. I don't know. We won't speculate too much, but it's a high-end restaurant. It's a large catering order. We got $5 extra out of DoorDash, so it's at least $7 base pay. 2 for the initial, and $5 for the extra long wait. We're gonna try to get back to Panera at some point, get a sip cup. I have no drink in here. I'm thirsty. I appreciate everybody hanging out. We did put out our latest video on our eBay store revitalization. So if you haven't gotten to see that, we did a little thrifting yesterday. Plus we had 3 sales. So our goal was list 2 a day, sell 2 a day on eBay. And we have beaten that for multiple days in a row. So I feel confident here that going into next week, we're going to start listing 3 a day. I just need to find the time, figure out what time slot I'm going to do my listing in. Might have to be in the evenings or early mornings. I'm not sure which way. So school starts next week, so it'll be an interesting transition back to school. In some ways I'm sad that summer is over. In other ways I'm kind of looking forward to I kind of ride solo quite a bit when I'm not taking care of the kids and doing food delivery. And it'll be good. The kids have kind of hit the point where they're kind of bored, looking for some stuff to do. So we're just going to keep pushing forward on all of our money-making goals. We're trying to make $200 a day on food and gig delivery, and then cash flow only, reinvest everything back into the eBay store that sells. So every time we sell an item, we want to replace it with an equally good or better item. And that's been kind of fun to slowly watch the store get smaller. So we're growing, we're selling more, but we're also getting smaller. When I started this process, I started thinning it out months ago. It was like a 5,000 item store. We continue to sell through as well as lot up stuff, and eventually we're going to move on, especially after Christmas. We're going to give a lot of things like one last opportunity to sell here between now and Christmas, and whatever doesn't sell by December 31st, we're going to be sending a whole bunch more stuff just out, contributing to thrift stores. I know I miss midnight, Rels, as while I was waiting for the order. Midnight will be back. I have confidence. Tomorrow night, we'll be doing a dual Mets and Dolphins stream. I don't know how I'm going to follow. I mean, I'll primarily follow along on the Mets game, I think. And then we'll keep an eye and keep tabs on the Dolphins game tomorrow. They both play like right around 7 o'clock tomorrow night. We will be going live for the Mets game here in just a little bit. So I'm going to stick with you until I get to the drop-off. Let me do this because you're probably tired of looking at me. Give you guys some Southwest Florida vibes here tonight. A little bit cloudier tonight than some of the other nights, but I'm okay with that because I'm sweating up the storm. I need my air conditioning to kick in. Yeah, the Mets need to sweep for multiple reasons. One, they need to just completely put away this whole idea of a curse of the Braves. The Braves have their number. They need to do that. They need to win in Atlanta. I don't care that the Braves are not a contending team. Like, in fact, it's all the more reason why they have to do this. I mean, the Mets are in serious jeopardy of falling out of the final wild card spot. And this would be the worst Mets collapse I think I've ever witnessed in my life. That's saying a lot because I'm a long-suffering Mets fan. So McLean is on the mound. If there's the type of guy who is like a curse breaker for the Mets, I feel like McLean could be this guy. He's got like, he doesn't have like the same look, but he kind of has that Noah Syndergaard attitude. He just seems like the type of guy who's kind of ready to shine in the big moment. Nolan McLean. And you know, some guys, when they get called the bigs, the pressure's too much for them. But I mean, Nolan came up with all the pressure in the world. That's an absolute free fall, and he just threw a gem in his first outing. I mean, I'm not crowning him an all-star, an MVP, a Cy Young, a Hall of Famer, or any of those things. He's not claiming any of that stuff, but just as of right now, just the attitude he brings to this team as a pitcher who means business, like the type of guy who could be a true stopper in the rotation. I don't know, I just get the feeling like if there's a need to, good and bad games to come as there is with any young player, but it's been a while since the Mets have had kind of a young pitcher with swagger and with that confidence. Of course, you know, Scherzer always has kind of that swagger and confidence. And I don't know if I say Verlander has swagger, but he certainly has confidence. But it really kind of harkens back to like the Matt Harvey, Noah Syndergaard, Jacob deGrom when they came up, like that. Like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm going to try to beat you. Like, I'm not just hoping you're not gonna hit the pitch. Like, I don't know. So I'm excited. And I mean, that being said, this could turn into an utter disaster tonight too. But it can't be any worse than what we're already doing, and at least it's excusable if it's a young guy who just came up from the minors. You know, it's inexcusable for Sean Manaea to be doing what he's doing. I mean, I'm trying to give Kodai Senga a little bit of slack because I kind of wonder if he ever fully, I just don't know if he's fully healthy. My gut says something's still wrong with Senga. You know, and Peterson's finally stepping into a role that, you know, he's kind of stepping into the role I thought McGill was always going to have. And I still think there's hope for McGill as well here, by the way. I'm not giving up on McGill. But it took David Peterson, I mean, it's taken him 5 seasons to get to the point where you can have kind of confidence in his ability. So, all right. Taking some back roads here now. We're less than a mile away. We get a little closer, I'll turn the camera back around. We can see some of these nice green manicured lawns. As always, lots of construction going around town. People buy homes, they tear down homes, they build bigger homes. Alright, we're going to do this. Well, I'll give you a few more sights and sounds. This is like a non-gated area, but it's a very, very wealthy community back in here. And I deliver back here a lot and get really good tips back in this area a lot. So. But for now, we'll turn it down so you guys don't see any street signs and stuff. Because I don't want to get kicked off of DoorDash because it's like you're sharing customer information. Protect those customers. So this customer, whoever they are, they deserve to be shouted out as a good tipper. And again, kudos to DoorDash for adding $5 weight pay onto this order. We're just about there. The sun is still up. We still have another hour or so of daylight. I don't know what time exactly sunset is. It's right around 8. Midnight! You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. Alright, that's what I got. I saw your song, but you were gone because I had timed out here. Lots of ibis birds around here tonight, all looking for bugs. They're looking for their supper. All right, so this is a $22 plus for 10-mile order. And DoorDash added $5 in weight pay. I'll show the screenshot again after I drop this off. This is a real thing. I've never seen this. Oh, very nice house. Very, very nice house. All right. Not going to show it to you, but it is a very nice house. Very nice customers here. I will give you the full breakdown. I have no idea what this could be. All right, we're gonna go get all this dropped off. I will be right back with you here short. Then I think we're gonna head towards the crust pizza. All right, well, the total ended up being, I don't know why they put a plus on it, because it was $22.50 plus and they added $5 weight pay. The full total ended up being $27.50. But that's okay. It's a $20 tip, $2.50 base pay. Maybe they just called it 22. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, so the plus was an extra 50 cents. Not regardless. $27.50 for that delivery. Nice $20 tip. $5 order delay pay is what they actually called it. So that it actually shows up as a separate line on here under base pay as order delay pay of $5. I feel like this is a thing. I've heard rumors that they used to do this. I've never gotten weight pay that I can remember. The only for a little while, who was it? Deliver That was doing weight pay. D-Rails, if you don't mind sharing, what sort of stuff are you listing in your eBay store? I forget. Maybe you told me already, but I kind of forget. I'd love to kind of know. Ducks on the road. Yeah, we are gonna go live with the Mets here in just a few minutes, but what I'll do, I'm gonna get over to the crust. We'll take a 15-minute break. I'll reset everything. The link, I don't have the link in the chat, but it's already posted if you just go to the subscribe page or whatever. DoorDash, it was DoorDash weight pay midnight. I got an extra $5 waiting for that order. So it must have been $22 plus for 10 miles, which it was going to be $22.50, but DoorDash gave me an extra $5 for waiting, and I've never seen. I'll show you. Let me do this. I'll park at the crust. I'll show you guys the screenshots, because this is all new. This is like, I've never seen that on DoorDash. I've heard rumors that it used to be that way, so I think like it doesn't take much as a delivery driver to feel like these delivery companies have your back. And that's all you really want, right? Like, I don't think anyone's out here thinking, I'm going to get rich off of DoorDash. You know, you're either doing it like I am to pay off some debt. Maybe you're doing it as a hobby to make a little extra money. Maybe you're doing it to save for a vacation, you know, save for a renovation project at your house or something like that. But I think all any driver really wants to feel is like, look, the app has my back, and the app understands I'm a real person that's doing my best. And all you really got to do is say, look, we're not going to punish you if you have a long wait. In fact, we're going to reward you for waiting for customers. Because why not? What, isn't that much better than me unassigning and then another driver has to be assigned and then the food ends up like, reward your good drivers. No, not wait pay for heavier orders. WAIT. For Instacart, they've always done that. But let me show a couple shots. Like, and mind you, I've waited for other orders like tonight and didn't get offered wait pay. So I wonder if it has to do with the fact that it is a large catering order. Like it's a way to. It's like, we've got a good customer, you're a good driver. We don't really want to have to outsource this good customer's order to another driver who's less than ideal. So we're going to try to entice you to stick with the order. Like, even if that's the reason why, I'm good with that. I think that's fine, and I think that's fair. And I think the big thing, like I said, drivers just want to know that these companies, that you got our back. Like, that's all we want. Like, no, like I said, no driver's expecting to become a millionaire doing DoorDash. Like, there are very few people who are full-time gig delivery drivers that have zero other income on the side. You know, there's a reason why gig tuber is a thing. There's a reason why people are multi-apping. There's a reason why people run eBay stores, Amazon stores, you know, all these other things. There's a reason why people sell merch on their YouTube page. Like, all these things tie together. So I think I think drivers are sick and tired of being like, why are we constantly being punished for things out of our control? And so, whatever, maybe it's just temporary, but maybe they've gotten enough feedback. And I honestly think, I mean, from what I see, they've got to be, some of these places have to be losing their top drivers. Like, they just have to. They've got to be losing some of their top drivers, because, like, I used to go on, and you look at the old videos, I talk good about DoorDash, even when it wasn't, you know, even when it was still like the $2 base pay. Like, I talked well about them, like, and I had fun doing it. All right, we are pulling into the crust pizza. I'm going to show my couple of screenshots. I got to modify them slightly because there's customer info in them. But let me just do that really quick. Go for it, Midnight. Go for it. I can always choose not to answer. Alright. It's going to be partly cut off so I don't show the customer name. So this is... And it does actually tie it to large order. It says this large order is taking a while. We'll add $5 extra pay. If you can keep waiting, we'll add $5 when you complete delivery. And I think I can show this. I don't think there's anything on this one. Oh, great question. Great question. I think the answer to that is market dependent. I know it's kind of blurry. Sorry, guys, if it's a little blurry, but it says, basically says this offer, base pay $250, order delay pay $5. That could be true. I also think that they have a plague of bad drivers and they're losing customers, you know, that are sick of dealing with bad drivers. They're trying to get bad drivers off, but then, so this is kind of the catch-22, right? They're trying to get bad drivers off the platform. They only want good drivers, but good drivers want to be compensated well for being good drivers. And so I do think that there is probably a correlation to, you know, illegals going off the platform. The other thing is they might be kind of trying to be a step ahead and saying, look, we're going to start booting people. I have no idea. I haven't heard this, but you've got to wonder. The purge of illegal immigrants, and again, not a political statement, this is purely business statements here. The purge of illegal immigrants is there. It doesn't appear to be stopping, and I think companies are going to find out that they're going to be caught in the crossfires and the crosshairs of all this, because they're going to be saying, well, look, did you do your due diligence to make sure you hired someone properly? And I'm not going to lie, we're really close to home where that truck accident happened this past, I don't know if it was last weekend or whatever. The 3 people died and the illegal immigrant driver made an illegal U-turn. DoorDash isn't too far removed from the same type of liability. Because I'm sure that they're watching everything that's going on and trying to figure everything else out. So I think it could be a combination of both. I mean, I think some of that could have to do with where you are. The other problem is they keep getting in trouble, right? They're doing some sort of lawsuit payout in New York now. It's just, ultimately, if you get a bad reputation, there's no shortage of opportunities and people who will try to take you down. Now, I'm going to hold off for something better. This isn't horrible, but I don't like the Chipotle. It's 11 for 6, 10 for 6. It's not bad, but we just did a $27 order. I'm going to hold out that there's at least a $15 or at least an opportunity for a $15 plus order coming. So we're going to pass on that. So anyway, I think, I gave it to them a lot over the last 6 months with their whole on-time thing. There are voicemails of me. I never cursed, but there are a lot of voicemails of me for customer service training that have been recorded, of conversations I had with support saying, this is the most ridiculous policy that you have. Like, I will do what you need me to do to prove to you that I am waiting at the restaurant and not just messing around. Like, you want me to do a video interview with a staff member saying the order's not ready yet? I'll do that. Like, I don't care. I'm here to do my job. I'm not out here trying to make cheap money. I'm not out here trying to waste time. I want to pick up an order. I want to drop it off. And if it's worth waiting for the customer makes it worthwhile to wait for it. Or if you do, DoorDash, now that that's in play, then I'll wait for it. And if not, I'm going to time it out and I'm going to move on. So there are a lot of recorded messages of me complaining about this in a respectful way. Talking a lot of times, I would even tell the reps, I said, like, I know you have nothing to do with this. I'm saying this so your superior will hear this. Like, I said that multiple times. So, and, it's always this, people are afraid to speak up, and I've been this way too. You're afraid to speak up because, well, are they going to kick you off the platform? But then, if you're afraid to speak up to the customer service rep, but then you're just going to go on the internet and complain about stuff, then what's the point? The internet can't fix your problems. The customer service rep probably can't fix your problem, but at least there's a tiny opportunity. There's a tiny opportunity that maybe it gets to the person who can hear it. And the only way these companies listen is if a lot of people talk and if the profits are there. So I think you need to be wise. I don't think, if my only income was DoorDash, I probably would not go on record complaining about stuff, but I also probably would not be live streaming deliveries. I would not introduce any risk whatsoever into my DoorDashing. If DoorDash was my only income, I would never multi-app. I would only run DoorDash. I'd run it all the time. I'd take as many possible orders that were even close to decent. Like, that would just be my system. But I felt like this whole on-time rating thing with DoorDash, like, you put us in a pilot program, then I'm giving you my feedback. And I think we got some of the things that were messed up with it fixed. So we'll see. We'll see whenever it rolls out. My guess is it'll roll out by January, February to everybody. And hopefully we did a lot of work in the test pilot program to fix it for you guys. You guys generic, not you, Midnight and D-Rel specific. So anyway, but I do think there's interesting. I have no idea what percentage, and of course they're never going to come out and say, hey, we lost 20% of our delivery force due to illegals. I think it's more of an issue. I don't know. I never get asked to verify my identity on DoorDash, so maybe that is an issue on DoorDash. Like, I can't even remember the last time DoorDash made me take a picture myself. Uber Eats is multiple times a week. Instacart can be multiple times a week. Sometimes twice in a day. Instacart will verify. And I still think Instacart has the most problems. That's just my gut reaction. I think Instacart should make you verify your identity like 3 times per delivery. Like, when you accept, you should scan your identity. When you check out, it should scan your identity. And before you can mark it as delivered, it should scan your face. Because I think there's so much cheating going on in Instacart. That's just what my gut says. So, all right, here's what we're gonna do. I am going to end this stream, get set up for the Met stream here, make sure I got all of my pieces ready to go. And yeah, so we're going to take a little break and we'll be back with you guys in 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on if I get an order or not in the in-between. Yeah, it would be more frustrating midnight, but if it also meant that I got better orders, I would take the trade. I get the frustrating part. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, I'd be willing to do it just to get all the scammers off the Instacart platform and the bot users off the Instacart platform. But fair enough, yes, that would be very frustrating as well. All right, sounds good. So we're going to end here for now. I will be back with you guys shortly as we get ready for Mets and Braves action here tonight. 10 minutes or so. All right. Catch y'all all later. Have a great night, everybody.